Behind the most famous standing ovation in television history was a cold-blooded ultimatum that almost ended Jonathan Antoine's career before the first commercial break. When Jonathan Antoine walked onto the stage in 2012, the world saw a nervous teenager in a Jimi Hendrix t-shirt, but the producers saw a goldmine, provided they could trim the dead weight. We are revisiting the moment Simon Cowell famously suggested Jonathan dump his partner Charlotte Jaconelli. From a news perspective, this wasn't just a critique, it was a high-stakes corporate maneuver. At the time, industry insiders whispered that a solo contract was already being drafted in the wings, contingent on Jonathan betraying his best friend. The pressure cooker of reality TV is designed to break people, yet Jonathan's immediate, firm refusal became the first crack in the sicko machine's armor. This act of defiance is what truly began his journey, but the revealed cost of that loyalty was years of being sidelined by major labels who viewed him as difficult for not playing the game. Reporters at the time failed to see that Jonathan wasn't just protecting a friend. He was protecting his integrity in an industry that eats it for breakfast. Even now, in 2026, we look back at that footage and see the beginning of a silent war between a young artist and a billion-dollar industry. The fallout was immediate. While they were the favorites to win, the narrative shifted and they eventually took second place. But for Jonathan, the real battle was happening internally. He was thrust into a spotlight he never asked for, while carrying the burden of being the boy who said no to the most powerful man in music. This decision defined his brand, but it also painted a target on his back, leading to a decade of speculation about whether he would have been bigger if he had simply followed the script. But as we've learned, the scripted life was exactly what was destroying him. And while the public was focused on his loyalty, a much darker struggle was brewing behind his closed bedroom door. While the headlines praised his golden voice, Jonathan was secretly navigating a psychological minefield that nearly led to a permanent exit from the public eye. In a shocking, exposed look at his early career, we now know that the fame followed by the 2012 finale led Jonathan to a breaking point. It wasn't just stage fright. It was a profound struggle with his mental well-being that he kept hidden from the cameras. News reports from the time glossed over his absences, but we now know he was dealing with the scars of brutal childhood bullying that were reopened by the vitriol of internet trolls. In this era of 2026, we talk openly about mental health, but back then, Jonathan was a pioneer in a silent struggle. There were moments when he felt he might have offed his career entirely just to find a moment of peace. He has since described his younger self as being in a cage, where the bars were made of public expectation. The industry's relentless schedule began to take a toll, leading to what some close to him described as a total collapse of his social battery. He was diagnosed with generalized anxiety disorder, a revelation that changed everything. For a news reporter, the story here isn't just the diagnosis, it's the bravery it took to admit he wasn't okay while the world was demanding he sing. He faced accusations of being unreliable when he pulled out of events, but the truth was he was fighting for his life. This period of his life is often referred to as the dark years, where the music stopped and the healing began. It was a time of intense therapy and self-reflection that stayed far away from the paparazzi's lenses. He had to learn to separate the Jonathan Antoine, the brand, from the Jonathan, the human being. This internal reconstruction was the foundation for the man we see today, but the physical manifestation of that change would be what finally grabbed the world's attention. The voice remained, but the man was disappearing, literally, leading to a transformation that no one saw coming. The man standing before us in 2026 is a walking miracle of discipline, having undergone a physical rebranding that has left fans and critics in total disbelief. If you look at photos of Jonathan from his debut and compare them to his 2026 appearances, you'd be forgiven for thinking you were looking at two different people. Jonathan has undergone a radical transformation, shedding over 120 pounds through a grueling regimen of discipline and lifestyle overhauls. But let's be clear, this wasn't about a Hollywood glow-up. News cycles have been obsessed with the how, but the why is far more compelling. Jonathan has revealed that his weight was a physical shield he used to hide from the world, a protective layer against the bullying he endured. By 2026, he decided he no longer needed to hide. He adopted a strict Mediterranean-style approach and began walking thousands of steps a day, a simple yet revolutionary change for a man who once struggled with basic mobility. This wasn't some OD on fitness supplements or dangerous shortcuts. It was a slow, methodical reclamation of his body. The media has often tried to spin this as a quest for marketability, but Jonathan has been vocal about the fact that this was about staying alive. He realized that his voice was a gift, but his body was the instrument, and it was failing. The transformation has shocked the classical music world, which often expects its tenors to be of a certain stature. Instead, Jonathan has emerged as a sleek, confident, and formidable presence. This change has also silenced the critics who claimed he wouldn't have the stamina for a global solo tour. By 2026, he is more fit, more focused, and more vocally powerful than ever before. But this new look came with its own set of rumors, as speculators wondered if he was trying to distance himself from the lovable underdog persona that made him famous. But as his body changed, so did his relationships, leading to a final break from the past that no one expected. For years, the world wondered if the most famous duo in classical crossover would ever reunite. But the 2026 reality is a story of a clean break and a hunt for total independence. The partnership of Jonathan and Charlotte was the bedrock of his early success, but the revealed truth about their professional split is far more complex than a simple difference in direction. As a news-style investigation into his career shows, the two haven't performed together in years, leading to endless speculation about a feud. While both parties have maintained a polite public front, the 2026 reality is that Jonathan had to leave that partnership behind to find his own frequency. Being part of a duo meant his identity was always halved. To truly become the artist he is today, he had to expose himself to the risk of going solo in a market that is notoriously unkind to classical singers. This move was a gamble that many thought would fail. Reports suggested that without Charlotte's grounding influence, Jonathan might spin out of control. Instead, he soared. He took total control of his masters, his image, and his touring schedule, a move that is almost unheard of for someone coming out of the reality TV system. He shocked the industry by turning down lucrative legacy deals to stay independent. This was his accusation surfaced moment, not of a crime, but of a crime against the industry standard. He refused to be a puppet. In 2026, we see the result. A singer who chooses his own repertoire from Pavarotti to Queen without a committee of executives telling him what will sell. This independence has allowed him to connect with a younger, more diverse audience, proving that the boy from BGT was actually a visionary in disguise. He didn't just leave a partnership, he left a safety net. Now, with the past firmly behind him, Jonathan is stepping into a future that looks and sounds unlike anything we've heard before. Jonathan Antoine's 2026 rebirth isn't just a comeback, it's a total takeover that is redefining what it means to be a modern tenor. The current chapter of Jonathan's life is being hailed by critics as the Antoine Renaissance. With the release of his latest projects, including his deeply personal work in 2026, he has reached a level of vocal maturity that was only hinted at a decade ago. News outlets are calling his new sound operatic soul, a blend of technical perfection and raw, unfiltered emotion. He is no longer just the kid with the voice. He is a seasoned professional who has survived the meat grinder of fame. His 2026 tour has sold out venues across Europe and America, not because of nostalgia, but because the music is legitimately groundbreaking. He has managed to bypass the traditional gatekeepers of the classical world, using social media to build a direct, exposed connection with millions of fans. This strategy has revealed a massive, underserved market for high-quality vocal music that doesn't feel stuffy or elitist. Jonathan's story in 2026 is one of triumph over the manufactured nature of celebrity. He has survived the bullying, the mental health crises, the weight struggle, and the industry pressure to emerge as his own man. He is a testament to the idea that you don't have to win the competition to win at life. As we look at his trajectory, it's clear that 2026 is just the beginning. He has successfully navigated the transition from viral sensation to legend in the making, a feat very few have achieved. His journey has inspired millions because it is a story of a human being who refused to be offed by his own insecurities and instead chose to sing through the pain. But as the curtain rises on this new era, one question remains: how much further can this voice go? In a world obsessed with 15 minutes of fame, Jonathan Antoine has managed to turn a single audition into a lifelong mission of resilience. As we conclude our look at Jonathan Antoine's 2026 journey, it's worth asking what his legacy will truly be. Is it the voice that can hit a high C with ease, or is it the man who survived the SHT the industry threw at him? We've seen him exposed, at his most vulnerable, and revealed, at his most powerful. His story serves as a vital case study for the internet age of fame, a reminder that there is a human being behind every viral clip. Jonathan has redefined winning not as a trophy on a shelf, but as the ability to wake up and be proud of the person in the mirror. He has navigated the accusations of being a one-hit wonder and proved everyone wrong. His 2026 status is a far cry from the shy boy we met in 2012, yet he has kept the one thing that mattered most: his heart. This is a journey that has truly inspired millions because it is a journey of becoming. Whether you are a fan of his music or not, the resilience of Jonathan Antoine is undeniable. He didn't just survive the spotlight, he mastered it. As we look forward, the world waits with bated breath for his next move, knowing that whatever it is, it will be done with the same honesty and courage that has defined him from the start.